Hi, I'm Leah Morris with Trinity Canine, and I'm here to discuss positive reinforcement. In learning theory, positive reinforcement is the addition of anything that's a desired resource or a good or pleasant thing defined by the dog that you're training. Each dog is different. For instance, if your dog sits and you give a food-motivated dog a treat, that is going to encourage them to sit in the future and positively and reinforces that sit. So it's anything that your dog regards as valuable or will perform to receive. So that can be food, it can be treats, it can be toys, it can be access to in or out, or you yourself can be positive reinforcement, your touch, a car ride. There's no limit to what that is defined by your dog. So positive reinforcement can be a bit more complex. It could be a real life reward, such as a dog having the privilege of being leashed up. So if your dog is sitting and being nice and calm, they have the positive reinforcement of the leash being put on. If your dog is taught to sit for greeting as opposed to jumping you, you can positively reward them by giving them attention or engagement. Positive reinforcement is the most effective immediately during or directly after a desired behavior is offered. So immediately meaning within 1 to 2 seconds. For instance, when you're potty training those puppies, the best way to correctly reward a puppy for eliminating in the correct place is to praise them while they're going, and then deliver the treat as soon as the last drop of urine is expelled and the dog begins to rise up from the squatting position. Positively reinforcing the act of elimination at that spot. Waiting until the puppy is walking into the house reinforces your puppy for walking into the house. So the treat should come at the very end of elimination as you're praising during elimination. And if you want your puppy to learn to come into the house, that's when you give the treat for coming into the house. Another example is when you're luring or cueing a sit or asking for a sit and your dog sits, you want to reward directly upon the completion of that sit. So as soon as the butt or rear end touches the ground, or as soon as you get belly and elbows for down, or as soon as a puppy stands up, it needs to be immediate. It shouldn't be more than a second or so after that, or hopefully as they're in the act of doing it. Because a dog remembers in snapshots and not necessarily in movies, they are very situational learners. So positive reinforcement is strongly enhanced and supported by the use of a memory marker. So a memory marker is a click of a clicker or the word yep, and there's a whole process to installing that or conditioning your dog to understand that as a bridge to predict a treat coming. So it speeds up training a little bit. It helps them to learn a little bit more efficiently. So, and it helps us to give a more effective rewarding process. So positive reinforcement works because animals learn through consequences, and you can think of it like money for people. You get a job to get a paycheck. The paycheck keeps you motivated to keep going to work. A dog's paycheck is his kibble, or it could be a piece of cheese or a hot dog, or it can be a toy thrown for them. It can be any one of those things. We get positive reinforcement by going to the beach because we like to lay in the sun and have a nice warm ocean to swim in. You call your friend to have a nice conversation, and you get the positive reinforcement of having a good conversation or good feelings. So, and to wrap this up, positive reinforcement is a very valuable part of dog training, and it makes them keep doing the things that you like them to do when it's used correctly. Dramer is hoping to be able to come in because it is hot out here, and so we are going to use a real life reward by asking for a sit, and it's going to get the door opened up for her. And that is a real life reward for sit. Use a food reward for Dramer this time. Sit. Yep. And she gets a food reward for that. Good job. Budgie likes to work for toys, so we're going to see if we can get him to do something for my toy throw. Budgie, sit. I think it's a toy throw. So a toy throw is positive reinforcement also. So something else that might be real life reward is that he would like me to let his favorite girl out, Miss Sela. Come here, Leggy. Come on. Come on. Ready? Sit. And his real life reward is letting his favorite playmate out. So he will sit to have her come out. And she's pretty happy. So I want to talk a little bit about value of dog treats. So when talking about dog treats, when I'm working with puppies, I really try to encourage people to use their dog food, using the kibble as much as possible to train with. Again, we're going to measure out how much food we're going to feed our dogs in the day. We're going to take out what we're going to train with out of that allotment so that we're not adding to excessive weight gain. So as far as values go, the value of kibble is probably going to be like $1 an hour for a dog. So we can get away with doing that with a hungry dog that's food motivated, as far as positive reinforcement goes, to work in the house with. When we're asking for a little bit more difficult maneuvers, or maybe we are moving to a little bit more distractive area, we might want to use something like a chicken ship, which is great. They're made in USA, made in Florida actually. That is more like $5 an hour for my dog. Or I also like Ziwi Peak, these little tiny things. Both of these can be broken down into smaller bits, and they still, even the little bits, are worth $5 an hour. So then maybe my dog has to go do something a little bit more difficult. So if I'm going to walk a dog in a little bit more distracted area, or try to train them outside in the front, I'm not going to try to use the $1 an hour kibble or the $5 an hour Ziwi Peak. I am going to go to $10 an hour string cheese if your dog can handle dairy. So that's going to be more like $10 an hour. So positive reinforcement increment here. These are a little bit higher value treats. We're going to wait for something that is going to need a little bit more of a value. For a really tough situation, I might use little dabs of peanut butter. That would be more like a $20 positive reinforcement an hour. So just like we would want to have higher pay for harder jobs, so do our dogs respond a little bit better for that in the beginning throes of training. So in closing, what is positive reinforcement? Positive reinforcement is anything positive that your dog likes that tends to cause a behavior to repeat itself. So if we keep rewarding for our dog sitting or laying down or being calm, and we use positive reinforcement, whether it be praise or food or toys or whatever, that is one thing. The other thing that we want to keep in mind is that we don't want to accidentally positive reinforce. So if your dog is crying at you or barking at you because they want to come out of their pen, you simply even looking at them, even to say, no, stop it, be quiet, may be reinforcing that barking. And certainly if you walk towards them and let them out of their kennel just because you're tired of hearing the barking, you are inadvertently rewarding that behavior. So be careful what you're rewarding, but do use positive reinforcement for the things that you do like. And I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe, and be looking for more videos in the future.